what's up guys? Holding Hands with you here, bringing you episode 53 review of Black Clover. Before I get into the review, I also want to state something I forgot to state in my last review. The new opening and ending songs are lit. I really like them a lot. They may not be the best ending and opening for Black Clover, but they are very good, and visual wise and all the characters and new stuff that we see in the visuals are very, very good and exciting. And there's not a lot of still shots, but very good. I just want to state that because I don't see many people talking about their new opening and ending, which are very good for the story and plot progression and stuff like that. But basically, this episode continued where I left off, about Asa and meeting up and stuff, and we had some funny moments with them meeting up because we had Asa talking to and is like happy, so he's smiling, and his spirit fairy, Seth, I believe her name is, or Sefa, something like that, she's getting kind of upset and jealous because Yuna and Asta keep talking and he keeps smiling and being happy, and she never sees him like this, so she's getting really, really upset. But the main trigger that really tricked her off the most was Chummy and Yuna, because she was like, "Oh, I made this for you," and he was like, "Sure, thanks." And then she sprinkled some stuff on like this, what she made him, which was it's like a pink muffin with like sprinkles on top, and then she added more sprinkles, and he ate it and he enjoyed it, and he smiled again, and that just sent her off, and she's like, "Yuna's mine," blah blah blah, and they're just going at it, arguing, and it's just funny seeing this go down and stuff. And it even came to this one point where it's like she started thinking wrong because like Asta was like, "Oh, we lived together, we ate together, we hang out together, we even bathed together," and she's thinking like crazy stuff, and she started nose bleeding, and she fell to the floor and just gazed out. And then she got really upset because it happened again, but this time with Chummy and Yuna, and Yuna's like, "Oh, I apologize for falling on you, last time," and Chummy's all smiling and happy, and she's slapping him on that shoulder and the hand, saying, "Oh no, it's okay, nobody got hurt. It's all good and dandy." And like the fairy really got upset, and she was like, "You're a grade schooler, stop trying to harass, And she was like, "No, you're a grade schooler," and blah blah blah. And basically, it came down to the point where she got so upset, Chummy, that she started to hunt her down to like try to actually cook her, but she couldn't catch her. Luckily. And you have Yuna and Asa that's like, okay, whatever, telling them to stop. Then you also have Lingus steps in, and he's looking down on the Black Bulls and stuff like that, and making fun of them. And we have Finwoo, who finally steps up and mans up, and he tells his brother, "You can say whatever you want to me, but don't you ever talk down about the Black Bulls, because they're going to be the ones to surpass y'all." And Lingus didn't really take that quite well. Like, he didn't say or do anything, but you saw his facial expression, like he really ain't like that. But yeah, it was just funny. But while this is all going on, Lingus gets attacked by the 8 General from last time, the one with the mucus powers that he one-shot. That we all thought he one-shot. And he came back with more people, and how many more people? He came back with like a mucus dragon, but he had a whole bunch of civilians in there, and Lingus was gonna actually kill all the civilians with him, and he says, "This is gonna be a noble sacrifice for y'all." But Asta was like, "No, you're not, we're gonna save them all." And Asta showed him how they fought, and I was really surprised because Asta basically two-pieced them. And let me remind you, this is a dimmed down Asta. He's tired and exhausted, and he can't use his arms. He had the blade like in his mouth, like Zolo, and he's swinging it around like a wild beast. So keep that in mind. And he actually defeated one of the 8 generals. It was a 2-piece, but he still defeated him. So yeah, he had help and stuff, but doesn't take away from the fact that they defeated one. So with ease at that. But after Asta and the rest of the Black Bulls beat him, Asta gives him this speech about don't look down on us and stuff like that, and he just Lingus is what he doesn't really care. He's looking down on them, so he doesn't really care about their opinions. But then we shift over to some important news. the continuation of where it ended off last week, of Yami talking to Vigilance and saying, "Hey, can you take off your mask for me?" And he takes off his mask, and Yami sees his face and sees that it's not the same guy as who the Lynch was. But it was also stated by Yami that even though he doesn't look like Lynch, and their magic is completely different, but when he's reading his Kai, supposedly they have the same demeanor, the same Kai, same voice, and everything. And it's like, whoa, this is showing how good Kami. And it's like good commentary. This is showing how good Yami's Kai is. That just by reading someone Kai, he can know their voice, their presence, if they're an illusion or not, and whatever. And Yami's, a lot of people think he's just some kind of musclehead with a sword, but he's pretty skillful, very skillful. He didn't get this position just for being muscle. Even though yes, he is a musclehead, but it's not his only skill set. You know what I'm saying? So, and then we also get the backstory of Vigilance, Kevin the Golden Dawn. Supposedly as a kid, he was in a royal family, but because of how his face was, they always rejected him. And his stepmother, she used to beat him and abuse him, which, he had a pretty rough life, and everyone else used to make fun of him because of how his face is. But then, thanks to, Julius, the Wizard King, stepping up to him and asking him, because he fell in love with his magic, which is the word tree magic, which if you don't know what the word tree is, that's actually what holds the realms of Asgard. So if you haven't read any Norse mythology, you might want to read some Nordic mythology. So I already did review that. But the word tree is very important for that mythology. But that's basically what his magic is based off of, which was nice to know. And it's one of the rarest magic in the kingdom, and he has it. Besides time magic, which the Witcher King has. So we know the Wizard King, Julius, and the Golden Dawn Captain, Vigilance. We know they have two of the rarest magic so far in the Black Clover Kingdom. And I guess you can count as the third, since he has a wind spirit magic, and spirits are the four elements: wind, fire, water, and earth, and they're the rarest as well. So they're the most rarest. They're the four common elements. So that's basically three people in the kingdom, like if you count, that we know. And Asta, because anti-magic is super rare. But yeah, we get that backstory and we see how he looks. So we know he's not Lynch, and Yami is like, "Oh, my fault, I apologize." And we also get some dialogue before this as well, that Yami and Vigilance has been on the battlefield together, working together for a good while. They were never buddies, but they have joined up and tag team before. So I'd like to see some flashbacks of that. But yeah, the episode just continues after that with a challenge of Finral and his brother saying we're gonna pass her and stuff like that, and him freaking out. And then we get the ending with the Wizard King talking to his right hand man, saying it's weird that they just attacked with only 3 generals and some people. It was like they're trying to attack but not full scale, and the Wizard King is trying to figure out why. And then after that, we cut to the final page, final clip of the series, where we see some big guy in a shadow form. I guess that's the king of the Diamond Kingdom. And he was like, it's nice to see that our old generals are useful for information gathering. But he says our new generals can take care of these guys. And we see 4 of the new generals of the Diamond Kingdom, and one of them we already met. The one that has Diamond Magic and Phoenix Magic, I think it is, or Dragon Magic, something like that. So, I forgot his name, but Asta was the one, and beat him in the dungeon in the first arc. So, Mars, there you go. His name is Mars. So, but the other 3 and that guy that was talking, who most likely is the king of the Diamond Kingdom, those 4 guys were shutted out. But we did get to see Mars, who we already saw. So, but yeah, that was the end of the episode, guys. Please, no spoilers, guys. That read the manga. Please don't spoil it for nobody here. Also, please comment below what you thought of this episode and what you're hoping to see, and how did you feel about William and his face, and how did you, what did y'all guys pick up from this episode, and what do you think of Finral getting some courage to stand up to his brother for once? And what do you think about Asta will he get his arm back or whatever? Because so far 2 episodes passed or 3, and his arms are still broken. So yeah, but that's all I have for this one, guys. I see you on the next one. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and share with your family and friends. And if you haven't seen the episode, go see it. If you have seen it, go see it again. Great episode. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.